Survivor 49 has officially wrapped, and we finally know who our sole survivor is. So big congratulations to Survivor Season 49 winner, Savannah. She joins me now on Zoom. Hi, Savannah. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm like so elated. These past what is it, 12 hours, 24 hours, I don't even know. They've just been so insane. It's so good to finally share with the world what I've been through this past year, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
Yeah, well, okay, I have to know just first and foremost, how does it feel to have won and earned the title of sole survivor? That's a title that only so many people possess.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, to be honest, I grew up watching this show. I grew up being 10 years old and dreaming, oh my gosh, maybe one day I'll be able to go and play this game. And I think a lot of the times as you get older, your childhood dreams can kind of fade or die. And for me, this is one of those things that's always been in the back of my mind. So to finally live that dream and realize that dream, I feel so proud of myself. I feel so grateful for my family who's helped me make this happen. Producers, CBS, I'm just so grateful for everything, and it's truly been incredible.
Yeah, so, you truly fought week in and week out. So how do you define kind of your winner's story?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I feel like at the very beginning of the season, I was on top, and then you see me in the middle of the season be at the very bottom, and I truly had to get scrappy and find as much grit as I possibly could to make it to the end. I really do feel like my story is this story of survival, and I think it's also kind of a unique story in that I started off so high, so at the top, and then you see me at the very, very bottom. And I think it's really compelling when a player can have both a really incredible game when they're at the very top of the tribe versus also a pretty good game when they're at the bottom of the tribe. So I'm pretty proud of both of those things.
Yeah, and just take it a step further. What would you say your experience was like, being the consistent target, yet being able to defy that each round of the game, whether that was your immunity necklace or, the help of your allies?
Oh my gosh. On one hand, I'll be honest, it was kind of annoying. I'm like, can we get someone else out of here, please? And especially because at the very beginning of the merge, I didn't see myself as this big, scary, intimidating threat. I'm 5 foot tall. I'm not the strongest person out on the beach. I'm definitely not the smartest person out there on the beach. And so to be labeled as this huge threat so early on, I'm like, what do these people see that I don't see? You know what I mean? That said, also very flattering. If someone's targeting you in Survivor, it's probably because they think that you're a big threat to win. They think you're a little bit scary. That's why I voted out other people on the jury. I thought they had a very legitimate chance to win the game, and I didn't want to sit next to them at the end. And so, it's a little bit of a mixed bag with some of the good and the bad that comes from that label of being a big threat and the target. But I definitely look at it as more of a good thing since I was able to survive it all.
Yeah, and you won, so it all paid off no matter what. Now, something that really stood out to me as a fellow journalist was you talking about kind of your traumas within the workplace and, the kind of health issues that culminated from that. So in a weird way, do you feel like your past traumas from your workplace set you up for success on Survivor?
Yeah, and not even my past traumas, but everything that we do as people, I feel like it's always getting us ready or priming us for what's to come. I look at my own life and I see moments where I've struggled, and for example, that situation where I spoke about on the show, that was 2 years of just pushing myself and trying to get through it and feeling like I was, at the bottom of my newsroom, not the bottom of a tribe, but the bottom of a newsroom, and just trying to find that mental stamina to get through it. And I really do feel like, you heard my tribe mates say a bunch of times, I'm a very intense person. I'm a very, I'll do what it takes. And that comes from a lot of my experiences that I've had, good and bad. And those traumas were hard at the time. I would never want to relive them, but at the same time, I'm so grateful for them because they've made me who I am today, and I'm proud of what I've been able to accomplish because of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Our past makes us what we are in the present, right? So your strength in the game was obviously your challenge domination, then of course mixed with your close alliance with Rizzo and then eventually Soph. So I'm curious, do you feel like maybe there was more to your social game than perhaps what we saw in the edit? Because that's also kind of what you got grilled for at Final Tribal.
I love that question. And yeah, I think I do. I think you can kind of see that too in the early stages of the game. I was in an alliance with literally everybody on my initial tribe. And, I was at the top for about half the game, right? It wasn't until we got to the merge where I started having some trouble. And I think a lot of that challenge that I faced with my social game at the merge was due to miscommunications and misunderstandings. I think that once I was able to have that immunity necklace around my neck and get a little bit of that safety, it bought me a little bit of time to where I could make connections
Mm.
and repair connections. So you see me making connections with Sophie S. and with Steven, very real connections. And you also see me repairing relationships with Sage and Jawan. There's a reason I think that Sage didn't want me to go home at certain points during the game. For example, when she voted for Sophie S, she could have voted for me, but she didn't. And I think that's a testament to my social game.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer because I do think that's something that was very missed in the edit amongst all the other great things you did throughout the season. And speaking of that, you now rank amongst other iconic Survivor women with your 4 individual immunity challenge win status. So how does that feel to you and what does that mean to you?
It's insane. It's crazy. And when we were out there, Jeff was asking me about it, like, oh, how does it feel? How does it feel? Dude, I literally could not feel excitement about anything. I was so laser focused on, I just have to get to the end. Like, I don't even care about this stuff. But now that I can finally like acknowledge it and sit back and think, oh my gosh, like, I'm so proud of what I was able to do. Like the players, like Kim Spradlin, one of the others who has this record, she's someone who I cited in my pregame interviews as a winner who I wanted to play like. And so
Mm.
to be knowing that I'm in a sense, like a similar league to Kim and these other amazing women, it feels humbling. It makes me feel like I'm on top of the world, and it just makes me so proud.
Yeah, which is actually really interesting, your comparison to her, because you have the immunity in common, but also she went to the end with her allies as well. That was really important to her game. So I can see that kind of relatability a lot in that. Now, okay, the fire making of it all. I kind of have a couple parts to this. So first of all, I want you to walk me through how you felt about Soph's handling of the fire, her decision after the challenge, because you were presumably pretty upset, but then also you swore up and down that you could not do fire and you went on to beat out your closest ally. So did you ever see yourself in that and then also winning?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll start with Soph. I love her so much, and she's been such a good friend in the game, but out of the game, she's just been so incredible to me too. And if I go back to where I was at that final four, I was very prepared to go all the way, go to the end with Rizzo and Soph. And when Soph wouldn't even have that conversation with us, that's when I realized, oh my gosh, like my best friend in the game doesn't necessarily want to, go to the end with me like I want to go to the end with her. It felt like, when you're in a breakup and like you have this boyfriend and you're like, wait, no, like take me, like don't leave me. And she was leaving me. And I felt very left behind. I felt very sad and very hurt. And obviously the audience knew that she had been planning to flip on me for a little bit, but that was me realizing like, shoot, like, have I been a fool this whole time? Is this,
Mm.
so thinking with her head or her heart? So that was really hard to digest. I will say one of the many, many things I love about Soph is her ability to be an amazing gamer. I have so
Mm.
much respect for her on that. And so, it took me a minute, but after I got over it, like, dude, I love her so much for it. And I respect that decision so much. And as for actually going into fire, yeah, dude, I don't know how people play the game and go like freaking 25 days or whatever without making a fire. To, to find out like, okay, like I am that person. Like I was shooting myself in the foot. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've come all this way and I'm gonna lose it to this stupid challenge. And then I think you kind of see it with me in some of these other individual immunity challenges. Like when I feel like my back is against the wall, oftentimes I'm able to tap into a place where I can just freaking do it. And I don't know what it is. Um, maybe, like we talked about earlier, it comes from some of that that mental toughness from
Mm.
some of my past difficulties and traumas. But I just find this weird place where I can do anything. And it's maybe this delusional confidence that I have, but I'm very, very grateful for it.
Yeah, I think you're very good at locking in. That was something I really
Yeah.
noticed is like, I think you're really good at locking in and keeping the focus, which is a big strength, I would say. Now, at the end, obviously you gained 5 votes from the jury to win. So were there any votes that maybe surprised you or any votes that you were shocked to not receive?
Yeah, I would say like probably the biggest surprise for me was MC's vote. I think that MC is just the most fierce competitor. She is like that in her normal life. She's an amazing trainer, she's an athlete, and I really thought that she was going to respect my physical game in my game. I know I did try to take her advantage, but I also saw her as being someone who might respect that gameplay in a sense.
Mm.
I feel like MC in her normal everyday life is someone who's like, go balls to the wall. She does not hold back anything in the most beautiful way. And I thought that she might look at that, even though I had tried to, screw her over a little bit. I thought maybe she might look at that and have a little bit of respect for it. And, I don't blame her for not writing my name down at the end. Like I may have had a hard time writing down someone's name who had done the same thing to me. So I can't fault her for that at all. But I thought I might have her vote.
Yeah, I could see that. You and MC have a lot of similarities in the kind of like the strong women era, and you both were very competitive, and so I liked that. Now, pivoting here a little bit, we now know that you are coming back for season 50, which is just insane. So, two-parter here. What was going through your head when they asked you essentially right after you won, and then how did you prep to immediately go back into the game?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I remember when I was called into that room and Jeff tells me, "Hey, congratulations. We want you to be on 50." I'm like, "Is this a joke? Like, are you pranking me?" I was just so shocked, but also so flattered. At that time, the 50 cast hadn't been published yet, so we didn't know who was going to be on the season. But you hear rumors, you hear rumblings and stuff like that. And just to be like considered in the same league as some of these incredible icons who I grew up rooting for and watching and sometimes rooting against, it was such a special feeling and such a humbling feeling. And I felt so honored that Jeff and production wanted me to come back. It's such a special feeling. As far as how do you prepare for a whole nother game of Survivor in 10 days? That's the million-dollar question, right? It was tough. I'm not gonna lie. I will say I got about 3 massages during that time. I ate all of the food, and I tried to fill my cup as much as I could with time with my family and my friends, a lot of FaceTime, a lot of time with my boyfriend, and I think I also went to a therapist like 3 times that week too. So yeah.
Which was probably very necessary. Yeah, yeah. Anyone you were most excited to see show up on the beach for 50 that you would then be playing alongside?
Yeah, I'll give you two.
Okay.
For man, Coach, oh my gosh, like he is literally so iconic and just seeing him in the flesh. And then I mean like even there's a reason why they start the trailer with his monologue, right?
Mhm.
Like he's just so iconic. He's such a fun character and just like the epitome of like a great Survivor character. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? As for the woman, I cited in my pregame press, there was a winner who I wanted to play like, and Dee was just I had so much admiration and respect for her game. I wanted to come out in 49 and play just like she did. She may have done it a little bit better than me, but when I saw her on 50, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I get to meet one of my heroes in a sense. So that was a very, very cool moment.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Well, I'm so excited to see how you fare on season 50. Hopefully we'll be chatting again in the spring after you win that season. But Savannah, congrats on your win for now on season 49 and all your success. We can't wait to see how everything plays out in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.